For years, electric vehicles, EVs, have been marketed as the smarter, more economical choice. But are they truly cheaper in the long run when you factor in real-world ownership costs? Let's do the math and break it down. EVs versus internal combustion engine (ICE) cars, side by side. 1. Purchase price. Let's start with the elephant in the showroom: upfront cost. On average, an electric car still costs more than a comparable gas-powered vehicle. For instance, in 2025, the base Tesla Model 3 starts around $39,000, while a similarly sized Toyota Corolla Hybrid rings in closer to $26,000. That's a $13,000 premium right off the bat. However, things like federal and state tax credits can bring that EV price down significantly. Depending on where you live, you might get a $7,500 federal credit plus state rebates that shave off another $1,500 to $2,000. That brings the price difference closer to $3,000 to $4,000. Still a gap, but not a canyon. 2. Fuel versus electricity. This is where EVs start punching back. Let's say you drive 12,000 miles per year. A gas car that averages 30 mpg will consume 400 gallons of fuel. At $3.80 per gallon, that's $1,520 per year in fuel costs. An EV that averages 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour will consume a tractable 3,429 kilowatt hours. At 13 cents per kilowatt hour, that's about $446 per year in electricity. So that's $1,074 in annual fuel savings for the EV. Over 5 years, that's $5,370 saved in fuel alone. 3. Maintenance costs. ICE vehicles have hundreds more moving parts than EVs. No oil changes, timing belts, spark plugs, or exhaust systems for the EV owner to worry about. Average annual maintenance for a gas-powered car, $900 to $1,200. For an EV, around $400 to $600. Let's say $1,000 for gas and $500 for electric annually. $500 difference. Over 5 years, that's another $2,500 in the EV column. 4. Depreciation. Depreciation is tricky. Historically, EVs lost value faster than ICE vehicles, but that's changing. Teslas, for instance, now hold their value fairly well. Still, not all EVs age gracefully. A 5-year-old Nissan Leaf can lose up to 60% of its value, whereas a Toyota Camry might lose just 40%. Battery replacement costs can scare off used car buyers and tank resale value. Let's be generous and say a typical EV loses 50% of its value in 5 years. The ICE equivalent loses 45%. If the EV cost $35,000 and the ICE car cost $25,000, then EV loses $17,500. To the ICE loses $11,250. That's a $6,250 loss in favor of the ICE car. However, this gap can close with higher quality EVs. Tesla, Hyundai Ioniq 5, etc. Number 5. Insurance costs. To the ICE, EVs can be more expensive to insure, mostly due to higher repair costs and expensive components like batteries. On average, the gas car annual insurance, $1,500. The EV annual insurance, $1,800. That's $300 per year more, or $1,500 over 5 years. Number 6. Home charging setup. To the installing a Level 2 home charger isn't cheap. You'll spend anywhere from $700 to $2,000 depending on your setup and electrician fees. Let's use $1,200 as an average. This is a one-time cost, and it can be offset with home energy rebates or state incentives, but it still adds to the EV's long-term bill. Number 7. Tax credits and incentives. Most EVs in 2025 qualify for some sort of federal or state incentive. The federal $7,500 credit is the biggest, but it often only applies to new vehicles built in North America. Still, these credits help narrow the upfront price gaps significantly. Number 8, to the retowning understand. This is every EV skeptic's favorite card to play, and not without reason. EV batteries are expensive. However, the majority of modern EVs are engineered to last well over 150,000 miles. Many have 8-year, 100,000-mile battery warranties. Replacements can cost $5,000 to $15,000, but that's rare in the first 10 years, unless something goes very wrong. So while this is worth noting, it's not a routine cost, more like a maybe 10+ years down the road. Final 5-year cost comparison. The real deciding factors. While total cost of ownership may come out similar, the value proposition depends on your priorities. Want low emissions and future-proof tech? Go EV. Want predictable resale and lower repair risk? Go ICE. Live in an apartment or have no garage? EV may be a hassle. Short commute with off-peak electric rates? EV wins again. Also, fuel price volatility favors EVs. Even modest increases in gas prices tip the scales toward electric. Bottom line, are EVs cheaper long-term? They absolutely can be, especially if you score tax credits, drive a lot, and have access to affordable electricity. But it's not guaranteed. The true cost is a balancing act of usage, location, incentives, and lifestyle. If you're planning your next 5 years wisely, don't just assume EVs are cheaper. Run the numbers for yourself. In the right hands, they're a financial win. In the wrong context, you might end up paying more for less convenience. But one thing's certain, the EV versus ICE debate is just getting started.